I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Anything more? Until later then.
I don't care if you tear this place apart plank by plank. We will find him.
You can't just charge in here.
You've been warned, Barnes. Now, get back to your fish.
The Magister turns, and his eyes fall on you.
You, tell me, have you seen a man acting suspiciously near here? Grey cloak, grey beard, satchel slung over his shoulder. Watch your tongue. I'm after a wanted man, a tinkerer, but I could still find time to haul you into a cell. Well, if you do see anything out of place, report it immediately. That lunatic is not going to take another Magister. It'll be a pleasure to watch Magister Raymond purge him.
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Fascinating. Oh my, what do you want?
The dwarf stares at you.
I didn't agree to that. Go find some other dwarf to be chummy with.
With a small grin, the dwarf glances between you and his handiwork and shrugs.
Indeed I am. They can close our schools, but they can't take away what I've been taught. Besides, there's still so much to learn. Times are hard. There's not much gold to be made in scholarly pursuits. I can't ignore my first calling, though, especially when there's so much to learn. Yes, as it happens, I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me. Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
The fish instantly churns your insides. You double over in pain. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boot. He doesn't even look displeased.
Doesn't look like you didn't feel a thing. Which is interesting enough by itself. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant. Humans are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer, or my findings could become flawed. The fish you ate is known as yellow ridgeback. Quite a cunning breed, often used in concoctions to increase alertness. But this one, touched by the void itself. Who is to say how such a creature might alter an alertness mixture? Seek out somewhere that peddles alertness herb mixes. Adding these unique ridgebacks might make quite the impact. So, now my work must continue as soon as I've got him.
The dwarf peers at an expertly
Fascinating. Oh my, what do you want? I'm gutting fish, what else? Nothing wrong with taking pride in your work.
The dwarf grimaces and points the tip of his knife at his handiwork.
Whatever's wrong with these fish is causing a lot of hardship for a lot of folk. I want to figure out what's happening to them. See if there's anything that can be done. I didn't always work here, stranger. We dwarfs aren't all burps and brawls as much as your kind seems to think we are. Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of it. Wonderful. Now, I have 2 samples that I wish to study. Care to choose which you'll try?
The fish instantly churns your insides. Everything turns black. A sudden vivid sensation of floating in dark. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view. Peering.
How do you feel?
A stream of black bile suddenly.
I see. Well, I'm sure it was nothing but a side effect of the fish. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing.
The dwarf puffs up his
The fish is indeed malignant. Humans are affected by it. Ah, yes, of course, but this mightn't be quite what you were expecting. The fish you ate is known as crimson bream, quite a fast, vicious breed. It's often used in the creation of ferocity mixtures. Who is to say what might happen? Seek out somewhere that peddles ferocity herb. So, now my work must continue as soon as I've...
Shush it, Hound.
Shush it, Hound.
You're not trying to...
Toils in monotony. Gareth freezes, then turns slowly towards you. His breaths are steady, his voice a monotone.
I'm digging my own parents' graves. You'll have to forgive me for not being first-rate company.
Gareth moves to continue his task, but his cadence falters. He pauses, silence hangs, begging to be broken. He nods. At least, you think he nods. His head moves so slowly, so subtly, that you can't be sure.
You speak truth. I've seen Seeker's blood seeping into the sand. I waded through corpses on the deck of the Lady Vengeance. But when the lifeless eyes looking back at you are your own mother's, I just didn't know. I didn't know what darkness lied beyond pain.
Gareth shies away from you. His eyes pass over the half-filled graves, and he takes a shuddering breath.
Comfort! Even Lucian has none to spare. I've prayed to him, an endless litany. How many tears do I have to shed? How much must I lose for him to listen? No comfort, only recompense. Against Dallas's cronies, against the abomination that carry out their commands. The monks do the dirty work, and the whites keep their robes clean. Convenient. The monks that did it, they're still in the house, spreading their rancid smell. Paladins came to clean up the mess. In the name of Lucian, they say, and they seem to believe it.
Gareth forcefully exhales and looks past you to the nearby house. You fear he might snap the shovel's handle in two.
Nerve tonic. I am not some frail child, and you are not my goddamned nurse!
You swear you hear Gareth's pulse, galloping faster than a saddled mount. You've never heard such a thing before, but you suspect Gareth's heart is close to tearing.
If you want to help, then you find the craven wight that ordered their slaughter. Anyone that stands between you and truth, no matter the flag they fly or creed they follow, make them bleed!
His clenched jaw tightens further, and then, in an instant, Gareth's guard is broken. Tears well in his eyes. With every blink, a pearl of grief falls to his cheeks.
My parents, they did nothing to deserve this. They were good. Honest. More honest than me. I'd give my own life to bring them back. I never got that last chance to tell them I loved them. I never got to say goodbye. You're right. There's nothing more to be done here. Lucian, forgive me. And please, Godwoken, please forgive me too.
That creature. It's not Donna, not anymore. It's the Magister's property. Let them have
The
it.
two paladins Gareth mentioned are...
We're guarding this house. Wise to stay well back. There's a bunch of silent monks inside who've tasted blood today. They didn't kill anybody. The Magisters who control them did. You know Donna, she wouldn't hurt a fly. But they did turn her. And now she's not Donna anymore. Get it through your head. The poor... No, wait! Surely, maybe someday they can be fixed. When all this source nonsense is over.
The other paladin rolls his eyes and shakes his head as...
In any event, it's our business, not yours. You can't do that. They were people who were loved. It's not right to butcher them like cats. You're right. You'll remember her as she was, Jad. The real her.
Paladin William nods his thanks to you, and with a last sorrow-filled glance at the house...
Die by a sword anyway.
Bloody shambles, this. My thanks.
He takes a pull from a... The spirit of a woman cowers before you. She has her hand clamped over her mouth in a desperate effort to stifle the... Something catches her eye. Terror swamp...
Somebody!
You see yourself in the mirror. It's quite a sight.
some slain by voidwalking. Others, perhaps not.
These people were slain by blades, not voidwoken.
Proud to stand in the way of justice. Proud that you'd allow Voidwoken to raise the land. Proud of your wrongs.
A crooked sneer surfaces from the spirit's deep pit of contempt.
The Order has something you could never understand. A code.
His sneer widens.
Traitors like you. You have no code. You blindly ricochet from one conflict to the next, stirring the pot while scolding the virtuous. You pretend to have honor, but you're a fraud.
Over here.
The woman tearfully stretches her bound. The grieving mother manages a thin smile, even as tears stream down her ruddy face.
Thank you, stranger.
She blinks out more tears, then rubs them away with the back of her hand and puts on the bravest of faces.
To lose a child. It's a mother's worst fear. I never imagined. It was more than just intention.
Her eyes move to the young corpse laid near, then dart quickly away.
I started with my youngest, Henrik, so full of life. I'm grateful for your sympathy, but it's not your burden to bear. It's true, you know, what the Magister said. My brother's boy, Gideon, he's got source in him. Now that his folks are gone, we've all he's got. We thought we could keep him safe. He's not got a spot of malice. He can't help who he is. But when the Magisters came snooping, he panicked. We all did.
She glances at the Magister corpse and shivers. Another tear drips down her cheek.
Shouldn't have let that Hanag woman near Gid. She said she could teach him, but that's when all the trouble started. As soon as the Magister fell, Gid knew what he'd done. He didn't even struggle when they dragged him away. Gods know where they took him. I've already lost more than I can bear today. I pray to the Seven I haven't lost him too. You will?
She ekes out another thin...
Make sure he's safe. And if you can, bring him back to me. My thanks, stranger. But please,